As all of you know, that ribozymes are RNA which are behaving as enzyme. We have previously discussed that sometime the RNA can behave as ribozyme, and when RNA is behaving as ribozyme or RNA is behaving as enzyme, those specific type of the RNAs will be called as ribozyme. An enzyme that uses as RNA substrate. This is the property of the ribozyme. All RNA with enzymatic activity or RNA with enzymatic activity that will also be called as ribozyme, and it basically catalyzes the association between the larger and smaller ribosomal subunit. As all of you know that the function of the enzyme is to catalyze. Catalysis is the major function of the enzyme. So hence these RNA are the and they sometimes dissociate the large and small ribosomal subunit from each other. Similarly, it also synthesizes the RNA during the transcription process. Similarly, RNA primers during the replication that are also synthesized by the ribozyme. So ribozymes, they are basically capable of catalyzing their own synthesis. Mean they are capable of catalyzing the synthesis of specific condition. For example, when we have RNA polymerase ribozyme, it will be able to synthesize various types of the RNAs. Similarly, some ribozyme, they may also play important role in therapeutic use. For example, some of them, they may be used as therapeutic agents, enzymes which specific RNA sequences which attack or which select specific type of the RNA sequences for cleavage. For example, biosensors and for application of functional genomics and gene discovery. So we can say that these ribozymes, they can be used as therapeutic agents, as well as they can use to target specific type of the DNA sequences which are meant for cleavage, and we can also use them as biosensors, and in functional genomics we can also use them. There are two types of the ribozymes, group 1 and group 2. They are intron splicing ribozymes. As we have previously discussed that introns are the non-coding portion, and during the messenger RNA processing, the enzyme remove the intron and exons are spliced together. So this is a group. In case of group 1 and group 2 intron splicing ribozyme, this is one category of the ribozymes. Then we have RNase-P. This is another type of the ribozyme. Hammerhead ribozyme, this is third type of the ribozyme. Then we have hairpin ribozyme and ribosome. So these are various types of the ribozymes which are operating in the body. So if we talk about the group 1 and group 2 intron splicing ribozyme, here you can see that introns are basically removed, and exons 1 and exon 2, they will be spliced together, and intron, they will be removed. This is called group 1 and group 2 in intron splicing ribozyme. Mean this ribozyme, this group of the enzyme basically removes the intronic portion of the gene, and exonic portion, they are spliced together, they are joined together, and hence we will have a coding sequence. For example, here we have pre-messenger RNA. This is the 5' splice site, and this is the 3' splice site. So here the intron will be removed, and the exon, they will be joined together. This is the mechanism of action of these intron splicing ribozyme. The second type of the ribozyme is RNase-P. RNase-P is a specific type of the ribonuclease. It basically cleaves the RNA. RNase-P is unique from other RNAs in the sense that it is a ribozyme that catalyzes in the same way that a protein-based enzyme would. As all of you know that when we talk about the normal or conventional enzyme, which are proteinaceous in nature, they are having a binding site as well as they are having the catalytic site. So from this RNA piece, for example, this is in yesterday RNA are actually transfer RNAs are formed from large precursor molecule that is cleaved, that is processed, and ultimately it is converted into mature transfer RNA. So this is the structure of the mature transfer RNA, and here this is the primary transcript or the precursor molecule from which the transfer RNA has been cleaved, it has been broken down, or it has been processed. सबको नहीं हो रही? Can you see the slides?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
This is the precursor transfer RNA that has been processed, and it will ultimately transfer RNA, and this processing is carried out by this group of the RNAs or the ribozyme, which is called RNase P. This group of the enzyme will be called as RNase P or the ribozyme, and the function of this ribozyme to cleave an extra or the precursor sequence of the RNA on transfer RNA molecule. For example, here is the precursor or the larger molecule primitive RNA transfer RNA. That transfer RNA will be broken down and it will be converted into an intermediate, and ultimately it will be converted into a large molecule. Excuse me, I have to attend a call. Okay. The second type of the RNA is hammerhead ribozyme. This is another group of the RNAs. This hammerhead ribozyme is an RNA motif that catalyzes the reversible cleavage and ligation reaction at specific site within RNA molecule. For example, this is the transfer RNA. It is having this one stem. This is stem 1. This is stem 2, and this is stem 3. So this ribozyme, which is called hammerhead ribozyme, it will attack on specific areas. Here this is the cleavage site. Here you can see that at this particular cleavage site, this hammerhead, why it is called as hammerhead? Because it resembles with the hammerhead. That's why it is also called as hammerhead ribozyme. So it is basically behaving as a model system for the research and structure and properties of the RNA, and it is used for the targeted RNA cleavage. For example, RNA sequence at any particular site, you will use this specific type of the RNA, which is called as hammerhead RNA. This will be called as hammerhead RNA. Similarly, as I have told you, that it is basically named on the basis of its resemblance with the hammerhead shark. That's why this is called hammerhead. Hammerhead ribozyme, they were initially discovered in two classes of the plants or virus-like RNAs. One were satellite RNAs and other were virides. Virides are the plant viruses. So these satellite RNAs and virides, initially the hammerhead type of the RNAs, they were, or the ribozymes, they were discovered from these two classes of the RNA molecule. Then we have another class of RNA, that is hairpin, or another class of the ribozyme, that is called as hairpin ribozyme. The hairpin ribozyme is a small section of the RNA, and it can also act as ribozyme. It is also found in plant viruses, viride-like in virides, as well as in satellite RNA. And it was first identified in tobacco ring spot virus, TRSV. And satellite RNA, this was basically satellite RNA, where it was found that this hairpin ribozyme, it catalyzed the self cleavage and ligation. Here this is the structure of this hairpin. Why we call it as hairpin? Because this is forming various loops and stem via the process of self complementary structure formation. It is forming the stem and loops, and this structure is called hairpin loop, hairpin like structure. So this hairpin ribozyme, it undergo the self cleavage. For example, at this specific site, it can undergo the cleavage because it is showing the cleavage site, and then it will religate itself. Hello. Walaikum salam. ओके, आपको प्रीवियस स्लाइड आवाज नहीं आई? हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
नहीं सर, आ रही थी आवाज।
आ रही थी?
यस
Okay.
सर।
Okay. Second group of the regulatory elements, or the second type of the RNAs which are behaving as the regulatory elements, are the which are behaving as the regulatory particles. Those are called riboswitches. So it is present in bacteria. Most of the cases it is present in bacteria, and one common form of the riboregulation in bacteria is the use of ribonucleic acid sequences, which are actually encoded by the messenger RNA, and it affects the genetic expression in the form of, or gene expressed or encoded in the full transcript. This is called cis-acting elements. You should know the difference. We will also discuss in detail about the cis-acting elements. Cis-acting elements are actually the sequence of the DNA itself which are performing the regulatory roles. Those are called cis-acting elements. And regulatory elements, they are cis-acting elements, and they are present on the RNA itself. That's why those are called cis-acting elements, and they are performing their regulatory roles. They are involved in the gene regulation. That's why those are, and they are basically messenger RNA elements that binds metabolites or metal ion as ligands and regulate messenger RNA expression by forming alternate structure in response to this ligand binding. Mean they are basically the ribo switches are the messenger RNA in nature. They are RNA, but they are messenger RNA type RNAs. They bind the metal ions, and those metal ion, they bind with this messenger RNA as a ligand, and when the metal ion will bind, it will regulate the expression of that particular type of the messenger RNA, and it will result in the formation of various type of the alternate structure. So this is what we can call them as ribo switches. Ribo switches, basically they are having two domains. They are having two portions. One is aptamer domain and the expression platform. So aptamer domain is basically behaving as the acceptor which specifically binds a ligand. As I have told you, that ligand in most of the cases is metal ion. So the aptamer portion of this ribo switch is basically the receptor portion, where it actually receive the ligand or the metal ion, and similarly both of the domain, they have some common properties. For example, the switching sequence. Switching sequence is basically common in both region. One is aptamer region and other is the it is basically aptamer domain or the expression platform. Both of them, they are having the switching sequence, and it ultimately dictates the expression outcome of the messenger RNA. Mean the expression will be different. When the switching sequence is present in the aptamer domain, the expression will be different, and when the switching sequences, they are present in the expression platform, then the expression will be different. So it is basically the switching sequence and their presence, it basically matters, whether the switching sequences, they are present in the aptamer domain, or they are present in the expression platform. So if a metabolite binding to the ribo switches, for example, any metal and or any other ligand, it is binding to the ribo switch, and it stabilizes the incorporation of the switching sequence into the aptamer platform will basically fold into a specific structure. Mean when the metal ion binds, and metal ion binding of the metal ion basically stabilize the incorporation of the switching sequence to the aptamer, the expression platform will automatically it will undergo the folding. Ribo switches that control transcriptional repression have a switching sequence. Mean sometimes the ribo switches, as you should keep in mind that these ribo switches, they can have both type of the regulatory role. Either they can express or they can enhance the transcription process, or sometimes they can repress or they can inhibit the transcription process. So those riboswitches which are basically inhibiting or repressing the transcriptional process, they have switching sequence, and this switching sequence direct the formation of row independent transcriptional terminator. We shall discuss in detail in the transcription process that when the transcription process is to terminate, the messenger RNA assumes specific type of the shapes and it is dependent upon specific type of the proteins. Those are called row protein. So this transcription termination is sometimes it is dependent on row protein and sometimes it is not dependent on row protein. When it is not dependent on row protein, this process is called row independent transcriptional termination or the terminator. And a short stem loop-like structure will be formed, and this will ultimately result in the abortion or in repression of the transcript. You can see this riboswitch, that these riboswitches, they are okay. Here you can say that this riboswitch is having this aptameric portion as well as it is having riboswitch binding site. At this riboswitch binding site, metabolites or metal ion will bind, and then we have this is terminator region, stabilization of the transcription termination for structure aborts transcription. Mean when the transcription process is to abort, this specific type of the proteins or specific type of the sequences, they will bind to this region, this after the process of the transcription will be terminated. This blockage of the ribosome binding site, it will block the translation. When this binding site is blocked, now the process of transcription will stop and translation will also be stopped. Similarly, we have regulation of intron splicing. Here the intron splicing in fungal plants, intron, they can be carried out with the help of this ribose, which is mean it is having an aptamer region and it is having another specific platform. So the two models, these are the here the action of the different types of the ribose which are basically described. It is having one aptamer region, and it is having this aptamer region is having a binding site for binding with thymine pyrophosphate, TPP. This is thymine pyrophosphate, which is metabolite basically. And when the thymine pyrophosphate this bind to the aptamer, it will result in conformational changes, and ultimately three different types of the shape will be assumed. This is one shape. One shape may be assumed by this riboswitch. This is the other of this thymine pyrophosphate, and this is the third shape. So these three different type of the shapes that can be assumed by most of the riboswitches when they are bonded by the thymine. Assalamu alaikum. Ji sir. Okay, so if we talk about the mechanism of that action, as all of you know, that it regulates the gene expression, and that regulation can either be positive, mean it can enhance the gene regulation or gene expression, or it can also in certain cases it can also inhibit the gene expression. So the expression platform of a riboswitch is that basically behave or act during the transcription. It basically it is involved in the ligand dependent formation of the intrinsic terminator or anti-terminator structure. As you can here see that this is basically the terminator structure, and sometimes anti-terminator structure can be formed. So this is basically to regulate the transcription process. Riboswitches, in contrast to the riboswitches that are behaving at the translation level, they basically mask the Shine-Dilgreno sequences. We shall discuss these Shine-Dilgreno sequences. These are specific type of the sequences which are present on the or which are the basically the binding site, ribosomal binding site in prokaryotes. The messenger of RNA of the prokaryotes where ribosomes they bind, those are called Schindler-Leno sequences. So those riboswitches which are behaving at the translational level, they will mask or they will hence they will control the regulation of the gene expression. And when the Schindler-Leno sequence is revealed, it means the messenger RNA will bind to the ribosome and translation will occur. And when the Schindler-Leno sequences are masked, it means the messenger RNA will not be able to bind to the ribosome, and hence the protein synthesis or the translation process will be masked or will be inhibited. So here you can see that ribosomal binding site is basically sequestered at the when the ligand is not present, there this ribosomal binding site is not available for ribosome to bind. But when the ligand, this is a ligand, when the ligand it bind either to the aptamer, it will result in binding of the ribosome to the Schindler-Leno sequences or to the messenger RNA, and ultimately the translation process that will be activated. Upon ligand binding, the RNA goes as conformational changes and ribosomal binding sites are revealed. Here ribosomal binding sites, they were sequestered, they were transiently, they were arrested. But after the binding of this ligand, the ribosomal binding sites, they are now freely available, and the ribosome now they bind to this messenger RNA. And in the intrinsic terminator stop the transcription, and when the ligand is not there, any terminator it will stop the transcription process, and when the ligand is present, this transcription process will continue after binding of this ligand. So ultimately anti-terminator, it will enable the anti-terminator shape. Here this is terminator shape, and here is after binding of the ligand, it will assume the anti-terminator shape. Similarly, we have another GLMS riboswitch. It functions by a ligand dependent splicing mechanism. Mean when the ligand bind to this GLMS riboswitch, it will carry out the process of gene splicing. Okay, here are some application. Riboswitches, they are tool for the gene expression, as we have discussed that binding or region inducible expression system are important genetic tools for many organisms. For example, E. coli and many Bacillus subtilis. Similarly, some inducers they are very much expensive. In IPTG, this will be behaving as a ligand. So natural riboswitches, they are basically activated by the amino acid. Mean amino acid will be behaving as a ligand, so they may be represent an affordable mechanism. Similarly, a glycine riboswitch from Bacillus subtilis that was used for the glycine inducible production of the beta galactosidase in Bacillus subtilis cell. Mean when the glycine was behaving as a ligand, and it binds with the Bacillus subtilis that was capable of producing an enzyme that is called beta galactosidase enzyme. Similarly, the riboswitches, they can be used as antimicrobial targets. As all of you know that RNA is basically the target of many antibacterial compound. Many antibacterial compound, they basically target the RNA region of the bacteria. So antibiotics, their mechanism of the action was unknown for decades. They have been shown to operate by the targeting riboswitches. Mean antibiotics basically they target the riboswitches of the RNA which are behaving as the regulatory portion. And when the riboswitches will be damaged by the antibiotics, it means that bacterial RNA will not be able to express itself. So riboswitches, it could be used as a target for the novel antibiotics. For example, pyrethymine is a novel antibiotic. When it enters into the cell, it basically metabolizes into pyrethymine pyrophosphate, and this pyrethymine pyruvate activate the TPP riboswitches, mean it will cause the cell to cease the synthesis and import of the TPP. And TPP is very much important, as all of you know that it is ligand. When it will not bind to the riboswitches will not be able to carry out the process of translation, and hence the protein synthesis will be inhibited. So pyrethymine pyrophosphate, it will not substitute for the TPP as a coenzyme, so cell will die, because in the absence of TPP, cell will die. So riboswitches can also control the bacterial behavior, a very versatile tool for controlling the gene expression in the bacteria. We can reprogram a variety of bacterial behavior. Bacterial behavior can be controlled by these riboswitches. Bacterial chemotaxis has been studied extensively at the genetic level, and it was studied with the help of riboswitches. Similarly, bacterial motility in response to the chemical signals that can be used for the bioremediation and drug delivery. And natural riboswitches, they can regulate gene expression in response to small molecule ligand. For example, we have discussed about the TPP during transcription or translation. Synthetic riboswitches, they can be engineered and they can be used to repress or activate gene expression in ligand dependent fashion. We can also form or synthesize the synthetic riboswitches as well. Similarly, RNA, this feature should enable RNA switches to play an important role as chemical biologists. Many type of the cellular behavior in response to various type of the chemicals, they can also be studied with the help of these riboswitches. Okay, so this is all about for today. Any question? If you have any question, you can ask, please. No question? Okay, Ji. Thank you very much. Please stay connected.